Did you blow your New Year's resolution already? Let's talk about it. I'm Nate. I'm your life coach. Make sure you shop at Ensorsale.com. Pick up a cool inspirational t-shirt today. Use code FitfutureMD for 20% off. Let's get right into it. So, you blew your New Year's resolution. It hadn't even been but a week, in 2 weeks. Well, 23% of people quit their New Year's resolution within a week. And only 9% actually keep their New Year's resolutions for the whole year. And then keep going, right? So I'm here to tell you that, so you blew it already, whatever. It's not too late to fix whatever your New Year's resolution. Most people's New Year's resolution starts with health. So this video will be about suggestions to help you go back health-wise. And the second one is always finances, right? So I'm gonna go over those two, how to help out with those New Year's resolutions. Because I'm Nate, I'm your life coach. I help people, they may not have a bad life, but they may want to improve parts of their life, and they need a little help or a little accountability in doing that. So that's what I do, right? So we'll go ahead and start right in with health, right? So what most people do with health is they jump right in there hard, right? They'll go in there and they'll try to go lift weights, run 2 hours a day, completely cut their diet away, and then they wonder why it's not enjoyable, right? Like you're not going to enjoy starving yourself and then running for 2 hours a day, and then wake up the next day you feel like crap. Like the first 2 weeks you're going to feel like crap, right? So number one, you have to find an activity that you enjoy, right? So if it's not weightlifting, it can be anything, right? It could be golf, it could be pickleball, basketball. I do a lot of cardio with basketball, right? I don't really like treadmills, so, I started doing more ropes, right? Stuff like that. So you just have to find what works for you. But I'm a weightlifter person. I love to go in there and lift weights, right? I would go in there and do that 7 days a week if my body would permit it, right? But, so just find what works for you. If it's, walking your dog around the neighborhood, and that's your activity, that type thing. If it's gardening, obviously that's difficult in the winter, but I would say that it's better than nothing, right? But just stuff like that, walking on the beach, something that, you don't have to really push yourself to go do, right? When you were in your 20s and it was Friday night, you didn't have to go push yourself to go to the bar, right? Or go hang out with your friends, or go to the movies, or, go do something, right? For health, it should be the same thing. You shouldn't have to push yourself to go do it, right? It should be something that's inherently motivated because you enjoy the activity. Maybe it's bowling, obviously the levels of how expensive something is, vary, right? Because golf is very expensive, bowling's very expensive, right? But whereas the gym is very cheap. So keep that in mind. If you're on a budget, then outside is free, right? Working out of the house is free. And I tell a lot of people, hey, don't even grab the gym membership yet. See if you can work out for 30 days at your house with bands. Bands are $10, or they used to be $10. They're probably $20 now. Bands are $20. If you can work out with bands for a month, then get the gym membership, right? Because if you go in there and the gym membership and Obviously it's packed in January where people are doing New Year's resolutions. But, like I say, after a week, most of them quit and they have the gym membership for the rest of the year, right? When you haven't proven to yourself that you're going to follow your New Year's resolution. So, and then number 2 with health is just forgive yourself, right? When people mess up, they really get down on themselves, and they'll stay down on themselves for months and months and months. Like, okay, you messed up on your nutrition plan, right? You had a cookie or, whatever it was. Let's change your nutrition plan to include what you would cheat with, right? For instance, Saturday I wanted burgers, right? So we made burgers, and that was included in the nutrition plan, for my year, right? Like, I'm still going to lose a pound to 2.5 pounds a week, based on that nutrition plan. So, but it means that you cut in one place, and, that adds it with the burgers, right? So, keep that in mind. Also, you can change the type of burger. You can go to bison burger or 93.7 meat. You can do a lot of things that, like, you can adjust. It's not this rigid thing that, people make it out to be, right? And then the last thing with your health is to write down your goals, right? And be realistic with your goal, right? Like, you're not going to be in the shape of a WWE wrestler in a month, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Even on steroids, it doesn't work that way. Right. So, keep that in mind. I also, tell my clients that, so say you've been doing the right things for 6 months and you haven't seen any progress, and you can get down to the nitty gritty and figure out, what you're doing wrong. But you also need to go check your health too, right? So, go get your blood work done. There are different doctors for that kind of stuff now, health doctors that are looking at your minerals and all that kind of stuff, that are different than regular medical school doctors, right? So keep that in mind as well. But really the biggest thing is to find an activity that you just enjoy, and then find a way to make food enjoyable but nutritious, right? A lot of people like to count macros. I gave up macros a long time ago. It's really just what's set up for a meal. Obviously, you can kind of tell when your protein is high, versus, like I say, you want to make things as easy as possible. You don't want to be, your whole life is just dependent on this. This is just normal life now. Like, I eat, 8 ounces of chicken, 8 ounces of steak at a meal. Now, a female would eat 4 ounces of steak, 4 ounces of chicken, right? I think the MyFitnessPal does it 3 ounces at a time. So, you don't have to be crazy and track it and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of my suggestions on health. If you've fallen out on health, I say, number 1, find the activity that you like. Number 2, figure out the nutrition plan that you can live with, right? If you can't live with one that doesn't have a cookie or doesn't have some kind of something, you go 2 weeks and you do this, you get a cookie, like that kind of stuff, right? Reward yourself is basically the number 3. Forgive yourself if you mess up, and number 4, write down your goal, right? And write down a realistic goal, right? So realistic goal would be, I want to lose 10 pounds in 15 weeks, right? That would be a realistic goal for health. Saying I want to lose 50 pounds in 10 weeks is not a realistic goal, right? So keep that in mind. Like, you're going to fail that goal, and you're probably going to end up gaining 50 pounds, right? So keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to move on to financial now, okay? So for your finances, you want to make it as easy as possible to track your spending, right? The way I've decided to do that is to use a credit card, right? So we put all of our expenses, all of our bills, everything on a credit card. If it will take a credit card, we pay it on the credit card, right? And then the credit card company automatically puts those purchases in categories for you. So all you got to do is hit it at the end of the month. What did we spend? Oh, we spent $800 eating out last month. We can't do that this month, right? That type thing, right? So number two, if your goal is to invest more, you're going to make your investing an automatic tax, right? So you're going to go into your brokerage account, and every time you get paid, that brokerage account is going to take that money out of your account, right? You got to make it automatic. It's a tax. Because, you know, if the government came up with a tax today, you would have to pay it, and you'd have to live with what it is, right? So it doesn't matter if, oh, I'm barely making it every month, whatever. You know, you don't wait till the end to pay yourself. You pay yourself first, right? So that's number two. Now, a lot of people are messing up by keeping too much money in their bank account, right? We are definitely one of those people. Like, we like to keep a lot of cash in our bank account. And, you know, that's a mistake, right? Because that cash is not earning money in a bank account. At least even if you just put it in a CD, right? It's better to put it in a CD than, you know, keeping it just in a savings account that's not earning any money, right? So keep as little in your bank account as much. A maximum of 3 months of expenses should be in your bank account, right? Because the truth is, you know, if a real true emergency comes up, you can just use a credit card and cash flow the credit card and pay it off the next month. 90% of the time, right? Obviously, if that's happening every month, then you have some different issue. You're not figuring out your car maintenance, or, you know, you don't know that your AC unit's 15 years old. Like, our AC unit was 20 years old. I was like, well, instead of me putting money into this AC unit, I'm going to get a bunch of little units until we can cash flow enough money to replace the whole unit, right? That's what we did, right? From 2019, and then last year in 2024 or 2023, we replaced the unit, right? In October of 2023, we replaced the unit, right? So keep that in mind. Like, we made it 4 summers with window units, right? To help the big unit, because the big unit was struggling with the house, right? Because it was old. So we cash flowed, you know, we started out with 1 AC unit. The next year we got another one and another one and another one. Little ones, they're $150 units, right? While we saved up to purchase the big one, right? You know, and that's the thing. You know, if you need a spreadsheet budget to make that happen, that you can do that. But we don't use a spreadsheet budget. We use what's called a threshold budget, right? So we automatic tax the things we need to tax, and then when you hit the threshold, that's it. You cut it off, right? So that's what we do. Obviously, and the last thing, if you have bad credit, right, you have to go into a credit repair strategy, right? Because you can't really do anything without credit. You can't rent an apartment. You can't buy a house. You can't buy a car. Well, we don't really try to pay payments on cars, but you get the idea. Like, they'll even run your credit score when you go for work to look for a job, right? If you got a bad credit score, they won't hire you for a job. So, you know, keep things like that. So we're going to find a way to settle with our debt collectors, right? So say you owe $20,000 on a credit card, maybe they'll take 10 and call it even, right? That type thing, especially with credit cards, because, you know, you can't go bankrupt on them anymore. Obviously, student loans are difficult. I work for the government to get rid of student loans myself. So, you know, if you ran up your student loans and they're keeping you from doing things with credit, that's what my problem was, right? Student loans keep you from purchasing homes, and your debt to income ratio is too high, right? So, and then the last thing, so you don't miss payments, you set all your payments to automatic, right? So everything we have automatically comes out, right? I don't have to go in there and say, you know, remember that it's due on the 10th or it's due on the 9th, or, you know, we only pay 3 things by hand every month, right? That's the water bill, the electric bill, and the mortgage, right? Everything else is automatic, right? So all the credit cards are set to automatic. So if they randomly throw a fee in there and it goes up there, you don't forget to pay it because you hadn't looked at the bill, like that type stuff, right? Because that stuff can end up on your credit report. Oh, we missed a payment. Missed a $2 payment, are you kidding me? Ends up on your credit report. But that's how you end up with an 800 credit score, and you can basically get loans. But the truth is, when you're so financially literate, you never even want their loans anymore anyway, right? You move to a different category. It's not personal finance category, it's a business finance category, right? And you're purchasing properties and that type thing. So keep that in mind. Hopefully this helps you get back to your New Year's resolution, guys. Like, the whole purpose of this video is to help you get back to it, right? These are just suggestions to help you, you know, find your way back to your New Year's resolution, because you made it for a reason. You made it because you're feeling bad about something. You're not living up to the standard that you feel like you should be at, right? You're not living up to the greatness that you should be at, right? I'm Nate. I'm your life coach. Let me know in the comments down below which point helped you the most or will help you the most. And if you're ready to start your life coaching journey, comment the word ready and we'll get you started. Obviously, you can email me at fitfuturemd@gmail.com and we'll get you started. Like I say, most of the stuff I do is free. It's really the accountability section that you would pay for. So keep that in mind. You know, I do these videos, you watch these videos, it helps you. Obviously I got free things that help you. And, you know, because really I do this to help people, right? That's what gives me joy, gives me satisfaction. Your success is my success. I would love to be at the top of the mountain with you instead of the top of the mountain alone, right? So keep that in mind. Shop at Ensorsale.com if you're interested in cool inspirational t-shirts. Use code FitfutureMD for 20% off, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.